Alright, welcome back to the Checkered PS4 NASCAR League. I'm your host, Morris1173. Great to be back here in the booth. And tonight we got the Truck Series tonight, running at Iowa Speedway, Newton, Iowa, for the running of the Speediatrics 200 at Newton, Iowa. Now this race is going to be 200 laps, technically 100 laps. It's 200 miles, 100 laps. Should be very interesting how these truckers handle Iowa, because usually Iowa on the truck schedule is usually like in the midway through the year, like sometime like around June, basically around June. So hopefully right now it's late February, so track is it's way cool in Iowa. Let's just say that right now it's about 40 degrees in Iowa. They just had I think they had snowfall in the area. I remember I looked on the weather for the race, and it was yesterday's high was like 20, so and the low was like 0, so it's just a scotch chilly in Iowa right now. And it's supposed to be warming up throughout the weekend, so we should see some great racing here at Iowa. And got the invite from Bradley, so he should be in a little bit we'll join that. And if y'all tune in to the Cup race on Sunday, not the league one, the real one, y'all probably know that Ryan Newman had a horrible crash coming to the checkered flag, battling for the win in Daytona 500. So as an honor to remember Ryan Newman, tell Ryan Newman that we're glad to see he's okay. He walked out of the hospital, I believe, yesterday with his 2 daughters, so that's awesome to see. And on lap 6, we're going to do a moment of silence for Ryan Newman to let him know that we're thinking about him, hope he gets better, and hope he gets back behind the wheel of his car soon. As of right now, Walsh Chastain is replacing Ryan Newman in the 6th car for the unseeable future. Don't know how long. I don't know if it's just for this weekend in Las Vegas in real life, or, you know, till Ryan Newman gets back. So until we find out more about Ryan Newman, and hopefully what his return will be, we'll see how Ryan Newman will do, and hopefully he gets better. Hopefully he gets back behind the wheel sooner than we hope, because that wreck in the Daytona 500 that he had was awful. I mean, goodness gracious. I had never seen a wreck that bad before, except the last wreck I've seen that was really bad was Daytona 2015 with Austin Dillon. The car flew into the catch fence, and that was covered to the checkered flag of the Coke 0400 when Dale Jr. won. And 2013 in the Xfinity race at Daytona, the first one, the very beginning of the year, where Kyle Larson's car took off the ground and his engine was in the freaking grandstands. So there have been some horrible crashes over the past 5 years now. Yeah, 5 years, 5-6 years, somewhere around there. But yeah, on lap 6 we're gonna do an honorary moment of silence lap for Ryan Newman. Hopefully he sees this. He probably won't, but if he does, we're thinking about you. Hopefully you get back behind the wheel of that number 6 Ford Mustang real soon, and hopefully you can make the playoffs. Hopefully you can sneak your way into the playoffs like last year. You earned your way last year. Hopefully you can get back there this year, and hopefully you can make it to the round of 12 this year. I really hope Ryan Newman can make it to the round of 12. But enough about the real life. Let's get back down to business, shall we? The Truck Series at Iowa. So last week at Daytona, it was a nice battle with me and Darth Callow for the win. And I believe before I touch more on that subject, I think I can join now. So let me show the blue screen to y'all. Y'all probably haven't forgot about the blue screen. You could thank Northway for blocking the screen for doing my post-race interview, because on y'all's end, y'all couldn't hear me. Because usually when you have the blue screen up, you only hear my voice and no one else. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Alright, let's head to the track. Alright, the Speediatrics 200. I know it says Eminem's 200 on the screen. Don't mind that. And there is apparently there's actually that big lump of corn there. Even though I don't think they're growing corn right now in February, it's a little too chilly to be growing corn at this time of day and this time year. But hopefully somebody will be eating, you know, maybe some corn, maybe some bread at the end of this. I don't know. We'll see. But we're gonna ride around with some drivers here. We got Bradley here in the 32 truck. Excuse me. He won the Daytona 500 last year. He didn't win it this year, unfortunately. But at the truck race at Daytona, he won the pole. He won stage 1. And I don't know if he won stage 2. I don't think he did, but this is normally one of his best tracks. So I would not be surprised to see that 32 truck up front. And he won the National Series race too, and the at Daytona last week. So I'm really curious to see how not only Ryan, but also Bradley do this weekend. But speaking of Ryan, he just joined me in the booth. How are you, Ryan?
Good. Cold.
Well, it's
cold outside, so.
Yeah, it's cold in Iowa right now. I think it's like 40 down there right now.
It's probably about 30 to 20 degrees in Ohio, so.
Well, Bradley just wrecked off a turn 2. That's kind of disappointing. We got Sports Kid here in the 22. This is I haven't seen Sports on a truck in a while. So, do you think it might be a little less than that 22 truck tonight?
I mean, if he hasn't been in a truck in a while, so there could be some rust. It's probably been since what, Kentucky or Pocono last year?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Since we last seen him in a truck.
I think it was Pocono.
So he's probably got a little bit of rust, but I don't think it will affect him that much.
Yeah, we got Sheepy Pie in the 44, who had a good race to his debut at the beginning of last week at Daytona. He had a good one going. I think he got a top 5 finish. I believe he came home 4th. So that's a good way to start off the year for that 44 truck. Especially you got somebody with Quentin Lott behind the wheel of your team truck, knowing that he can get it done basically any week if he can. And
this truck series is stacked with talent this year.
Yeah.
Be fun to watch.
Yeah, we got Quentin Lott here on the 45, who snuck his way into basically into victory lane, I believe, last year. I can't remember where he got that win. He won last year, I believe, but I can't remember where he got it from. I think he won it last year, but
I want to say it was Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think it was Vegas. Yeah, unfortunately he didn't win the full schedule, so he didn't make the playoffs last year. But he's definitely a championship contender this year. I would look at him as that.
Quentin Lott's gonna be one to watch to make it to the Final Four if he could stay consistent. Because inconsistency will kill you, but I think he'll stay consistent. We could possibly see him making a long run in the playoffs once that time comes.
We got Darth Kylo here on the 18, who almost went back to back because if you remember at the CFNL Homestead, he passed Randwide to get the checkered flag at Homestead, and he almost started off the year with a win at Daytona. Unfortunately, he couldn't get around me for the win. I did my best to try to hold him off, but still a second place finish at Daytona was actually pretty good for Darth Kylo to start off his 2020 season.
Especially with him now being full time, that's going to help him tremendously. So. I mean, he already showed speed, and he was very consistent on being up front, so expect him to be a big danger this year.
Yeah, behind him we got Abernathy in the 24, who hasn't made a lot of friends lately. He and I have had one-ins basically ever since I've seen him race. So hopefully we can get that sorted out for next week. I believe we go to Las Vegas next week, so hopefully we can get that sorted out. But I would not be surprised to see Abernathy maybe winning in the top 5, top 10 some point in this race.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll see him definitely in the top 10, top 5 is debatable, especially with Sports in there. You'll see Smoke's supposed to race tonight, and then you have Bradley. When Bradley has, as we all know, he loves Iowa, so Bradley's probably the favorite out of anybody right now to win this race. Especially with it being Iowa.
Got Mind Killer here in the 2, who I would say he flew under the radar at the beginning at Daytona. I would say because he wasn't really talked about for much of it.
No, he wasn't, but I think he showed how good he was during that Atlanta mock race, which he won. So he showed that he's got a chance. He's got a chance week in, week out instead of just being maybe top 5 here or there. So he'll be consistent this year, and it's a guy to watch out for this year.
while we were talking about a mind killer, his teammate Abernathy on the 24th spun coming out for turn 2, that down the back straightaway. So hopefully they get it. Yeah, that 24 truck seemed a little loose, I believe, because I think he overcorrected coming out turn 2.
I think he's gonna. If it seems like he's just having a struggle making the corners too. I think he's hitting the brake just a little too late.
Got Texas
just
here.
Causing him to hit the wall. 18's in the wall too.
Oh yeah, he just worked off the turn 2. Got Texas here on the 3 truck. You can't see him because he's on pit road, but he ran. I believe he only ran the truck race last week. Well, it was the national race last week. But I believe he's supposed to do triple duty this weekend. So how would winning all 3 races benefit you in a weekend?
It all depends because trucks are definitely different from cars. But it does benefit you just to get a feel for the track. So it definitely does help running all 3 weekends.
We got Dale Jr. here, not the real Dale Jr., it's just his name's Dale Jr. He's in the 02 truck. I believe he's new to your team, is that correct, Ryan?
That is correct. He is the newest driver, and right now my only driver is my 2 other ones could not do full-time truck series, sadly, but Dale has speed and he shows consistency, so I think he'll be good this year, especially with the talent that he has.
Well, if he's going to show what he can do, you got a tough field tonight. You got Sports Kid and Bradley, Texas I believe is racing as well. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe Smoke could get here, who's one of the fastest drivers on week by week basis in this league. But he's going to have some work out for him if he wants at least contend to make the playoffs this year.
It's definitely going to be a competition to get into the playoffs, which is way too early to be talking about that, but it's going to definitely be a competition to get a win, especially with Cup Series and Xfinity guys coming down. But it always happens. You could see an upset happen. Yeah.
We got Mikey here in the 35 truck, who ran in the league last year. He drove the 13 truck for Thor Sport, but unfortunately, I think sponsorship issues. He had sponsorship issues and couldn't fill out the rest of the races. So unfortunately, his season came to an abrupt end. But I'm looking to see he's back in the 35 truck this weekend. Who ran Daytona last week, ran pretty well, and he's in the truck that won the championship last year with Landwide. So it's going to be interesting how he's got some big shoes to fill, especially in a champion like Landwide.
Oh, big time! He'll have big time shoes to fill. Especially with that truck being a championship-winning truck last year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, that truck was actually a part-time truck at the beginning of the year last year with Bradley mainly behind the wheel, but they started going full-time with the Landwide in the 35 and proved to be a smart move because he ended up winning the championship, and now they got Mikey Moolah in the 35 truck as Texas just wrecked right beside him.
Yeah. But I think the guy that has the most. My question is, who do you think has the most pressure this year in the truck series?
Now I would have to say for the majority, I would say that 35 truck of Mikey. But based on what I've seen in terms of like driving skill, I would say Darth Callan the 18 because he was on fast last year, but he was on a part-time role. So imagine what he could do on a full-time role, and plus instead of having a couple weeks, maybe to like get your head straight and get back in the game, he's got to go like basically almost every single week. So it'd be interesting to see if he can keep that consistency going and hopefully get to victory lane.
Yeah, that's a good choice. But I think the guy that has the most pressure is probably Landrod after winning the championship. As he came back down to the truck series to try to go back-to-back, he's definitely got the most pressure, especially now with a new field of truck guys who are talented all the way. So it's going to be a more difficult challenge than it was last year for him.
Yeah, plus he's currently not here, so that's actually not going to help him in his cause to continue his quest for a second straight championship. But hopefully Landwide could get here and drive the number 52 truck for Almar Friesen Racing, who didn't make any starts last year. The team did, but They got some nice equipment. They're aligned with GMS in terms of the body shop and basically the chassis. The 52 gets them from the M2 and the 24, but they don't have like a whole team alliance. So
right.
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what he can do.
It was definitely an interesting move that Landron made. Instead of staying in the 75, he went to the 52. Very interesting move, but
yeah. Why would you say it's interesting?
Because it just kind of changed. Because that allowed, I don't know, maybe it takes off a little bit more pressure off of him, knowing that the 75 would have a lot more pressure being that championship truck. And plus, I thought he would go to the Xfinity Series, to be honest.
Well, let's see if we can get maybe one interview in here before qualifying. So let's see here. I'm thinking about getting Darth Kylo in here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Kylo too.
Alright, so let's get Kylo in here and see if he can carry the momentum going after basically back-to-back top 2 finishes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the momentum is definitely on Darth Kylo's side right now. He's won at Homestead, finished the second at Daytona. What a way to start off the season. And now is at Iowa.
Since we got text just sent us an invite to the qualifying lobby, but see if we can get Darth Kylo in here before we start part 2 of the live stream.
I'm gonna hop in Discord so we can tell when we can win.
Alright, thank you.
Any luck with Kylo?
I just sent him an invite about a minute ago, so he should be joining possibly, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he's more focused on qualifying.
Yeah, which is respectful. I wouldn't blame him.
No, I wouldn't blame him either, especially now that he's probably got the most pressure out of any of the drivers. He needs to focus and try to get the pole.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for part number 1. We got part number 2 coming up, which is going to be qualifying. And hopefully to see y'all there. And Ryan, I think what do you think? We'll see him in part number 2?
Yeah, you'll see me in part number 2.
Alright, see y'all in part number 2.